G'day guys, Luke here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, we are doing the Reptile update for November 2023. This is part 2, so this is the snake room guys. If you're yet to see part 1 guys, link in the description or go and check out the recent video as the lizard room is part 1. And yeah, check out the rest of the family there. However, we'll jump straight into it. So in this 90cm enclosure, we've got Charles, who is my albino dark carpet python. Ever since putting Charles in this 3-foot enclosure, she's been much better, being more food motivated. She's been eating a bit more, and she's been a bit more active, which is a good sign. She used to be in a 4-foot or 120cm enclosure, but just never thrived in that. So putting her in a smaller enclosure, she has preferred it much, much better. And I think most snakes prefer smaller enclosures, as you see why later on in the video. But in her enclosure, guys, got a light strip in there to display her enclosure, heat, got a hammock that she would sleep on, 2 hides, water bowl. She's got her substrate, which is cocoa core, cocoa peat, whatever you guys prefer calling it. A fake plant in there, and a backing. So Charles is doing excellent. Across the way, we've got Superstar and Graham, who are my 2 oldest snakes in the family. Superstar will be 14 this month. So she's been my first reptile. So it'll be 14 years in March since I've had this beautiful girl here. So she's getting into her later years, but she's still a fantastic snake. Usually she's probably the first snake I'll get out with friends and family over. She's just quite a beautiful snake in temperament. Then her, I guess, partner in crime is Graham. She's the second snake I ever got. These 2 were literally born 1 month apart. They've probably gone about 1 month apart too. So both girls have been living together for a while. Hang on a second, get that out of there. One of you guys just did that. That's right, I washed my hands afterwards. But yeah, Graham hasn't eaten since April, I think, so she'll probably eat again soon. On the day of recording, it's still kind of October, so she usually starts eating late October, early November every year. So I'm not too worried about her. But anyway, guys, in the enclosure, they've got 3 hides, heat, and normal white light. They've got a backing, branch, bit of wood, and a fake plant, rock, just to decorate the enclosure. A nice big water dish. Graham does have a habit of soaking in that water dish, so every time she goes in, I'll get a little concerned, but it's just Graham being Graham. So yeah. Now below those 2, we've got Chappie and Orchid, who are my 2 central carpet pythons. Now, unfortunately, I had to downsize these 2 from 180 centimeters to 120 centimeters, only because Chappie never really thrived in that bigger cage. So I put a divider in there, and just hope for the best that he improves. So far, just from the small improvements that I did, was having a UV light in there. His colours are coming back out more a bit more bright, I should say. Every time he used to go quite dark. So I'll get to him in Orchid. Orchid's been fine. She's been smashing food. It's pretty much nothing like Chappie. And Chappie has gotten sick a couple of times, so I thought, you know what, downsize him and just see if that's a trick. So I'll find out tomorrow. If Chappie eats, then he's fine. But if he hasn't eaten tomorrow, or at least by late November, then I should be getting concerned. So here's the 2 lovebirds, always cuddling with one another. So Orchid is one with the green eyes. She's very stunning, very food motivated snake. She's a bit more active for that too. And Chappie over there, he's got blue eyes, so kind of cool to see 2 snakes that have different eye colour. He's just vibing out, cuddling up with his girlfriend. Not too sure if they're going to breed this year, but if they do, that's fine by me. If not, I still got a couple of babies from them last season that I need to move on. So, yeah, Chappie and Orchid doing just fine at the moment. So, like I said, they're now housed in a 4-foot enclosure. In the enclosure, they're sleeping in a nest box. They've got the water bowl, substrate, backing, heat, UV light, like I mentioned earlier. Another hide there, a couple of fake plants to decorate the enclosure. That's good old Chappie and Orchid. And below them, we've got my 2 diamond pythons. Now, same scenario. If these guys, for some reason, decide to go downhill, I'll do the same thing. However, both of them have been thriving in this enclosure, enjoying the space. So it's been great. So in this 180 centimeter enclosure, we've got my diamond pythons. We've got 3 hides, a couple of branches from the perch on, a nice big water dish, substrate. Got the UVB, backing, and heat. I might add a fake plant or 2 in here on a later date. just seeing what happens in the future. Over here we've got Aurelia. He's my male, a big boy, a very food motivated snake, which is great to have. If the hide can just stay up a bit there. It sucks that the camera doesn't show how yellow he is. He's much brighter in person, and he's a bit more of a bit of a lunatic, aren't you, buddy? So, sorry, Aurelia. I keep getting these two confused. So Aurelia there is a confirmed male, while Atram might be a female. So I did buy these two just out of chance. I'm just hoping by sheer luck I've got a pair. So if they end up breeding, that'll be great. If not, doesn't matter. They're both beautiful snakes, and I strongly believe when you have two animals together, they kind of do get along. If they do get along, it's basically better for them. If they don't get along, yeah. So often I find snakes do well together. Lizards depends on the species and the personality. And here's Atram. So Atram did go off food for a little bit there, but she's back to normal. So hopefully it's a female. And every time she does shed her skin, her yellows come out more and more. She used to be quite dark and pretty much black and white, but now her yellows are starting to come through, which is interesting. So fingers crossed, hey? But yeah, Aurelia's doing, Atram and Aurelia, I should say, are doing both fantastic. We'll move on to the next lot of snakes and go from there. Across to the other side, guys, we've got 4 children pythons, a blackhead, and a Rosenberg miner to get through. So up here, we've got a 100 centimeter enclosure, then an 80 centimeter enclosure. So just over 3 foot, under 3 foot, then a pair of 180 centimeter enclosures or 6 foot enclosures to go through. So over here, we've got my breeding pair of children pythons, Emma and Azula. So Emma is in the hide there, which being lookout. He's a very protective male of his girlfriend, so I'll be careful when I show off Azula. He's doing well, smashing food, being a very protective, I guess, boyfriend or husband, whatever you like to call him. And his beautiful girl Zula is here. I wish I could show her little head because she's a beautiful little snake. She shed skin quite recently. Zula. Come on, good. No, she's got to hide her head. So she's going to lay probably late November. The last couple of years, she usually sheds her skin late October, then lays her eggs late November. I'm guessing her babies will probably hatch early February, like every year, basically. Both of them doing fine. In the enclosure, they've got 4 hides. One of them is a nest box for Zula. They've got a hip pad under that hide there, well, obviously underneath the enclosure. A backing, branches, fake plant, substrate, rocks, water bowl. They do share a light strip with half the room, which we'll get to, obviously. But yeah, they're doing just fine, Emma and Azula. Across the way, we've got 2 female children pythons in here, named Aaron and Snickers. Let's do Aaron first. She's in this hide here. Gorgeous girl. She's doing fantastic, smashing food. Was nothing too worrying for her. She did breed last year, but I decided to separate her and Caesar, only because baby children pythons, when you get them to hatch, they are a nightmare to get going. Plus, she's a children python and Caesar is a spotted, so I wanted to keep things more pure. And this year I'm just going down to one breeding pair, because last year was a bit hectic. And then her partner crime, or her new friend here, is Snickers. Where's your head, Rogers? Oh, at the back there. So she's doing well. She's another very food motivated snake. She's a sweetheart, but as soon as she smells food, she becomes a different animal. Like I said earlier, they're both housed in a 100 centimeter enclosure, so just over 3 foot. Now this is won't close. There we go. So in the enclosure, guys, they've got 3 hides, which they never share. They always have to be in one each. We've got a backing, a couple of branches from the climb up on, a rock, wood bowl, substrate, heat, and a light, and as well fake plants. Don't know if I mentioned that in that little ramble. But yeah, both are doing well. Down below them, we've got Chris, who is my black-headed python. I might add something in here a little later on, as lately I've been seeing her trying to bury herself amongst the substrate. So I might add something else in here that she can do so. There she is. So Chris here is about probably 2.5 meters, or about 8 foot 2 inches in length. She's a sweetheart unless you have food. When you give her food, or when she smells food, Well, after a feed, she's a real handful to deal with. However, like right now, you can pat her. Or she might be in food mode, but when you pat her, she's usually in a very nice and friendly mode. But now she's thinking about food, aren't you? So in her enclosure, guys, we've got two big caves for her to hide in. She's a big snake. A substrate, fake plant, a branch, her backing, heating, and the normal light strip in here to display her enclosure, a water bowl. That's really about it because she's more of a ground species than a tree species, so she doesn't really need much. However, she needs the floor space, so yeah, that's good old Chris. It'll be 6 years next month I've had her, so it's gone very quickly. Another one that's gone very quickly, it's been 3 years since we've had Ray in the family. So Ray here is a Rosenberg monitor. Even though I call this a snake room, there is a couple of goannas in here. So we've got Ray and Roseau. So they're two of the three goannas I have in the family. Rosie's probably the most friendliest, who you see next. Dusty, who's another goanna, he's in the lizard room. He's alright, he might be a little bit nippy. This one, however, always causes so much trouble for me. When I get him out, he always goes for my toes. When I'm trying to pat him, he goes for the fingers. So he's a cheeky boy, aren't you, Ray? He had a feed this morning, so he's calmed down now and going to sleep. So he has a 6-foot enclosure. I'm looking at upgrading him to an aviary soon. Just shopping around at the moment, comparing sizes and price. But yeah, he's got his cave, a couple of rocks so he can sit on, so he can bask on. He's got his UVB. We've got his backing, hammock, branch, a couple of fake plants in here that, I'll be honest, he's destroyed. A water bowl and another cave there, but he doesn't really use that. So that's good old Ray. Here's little Roseau. He's the little Looney Tune of this room. He's, funny enough, he's the smallest of the three goannas I have, but he's the most friendliest and I guess more trusting out of the three. I can pick him up, free handle him. He's not too bad at all. Dusty, depends on the day. Sometimes he might sit there on my bed. Some days he just runs out of the room. I've got to go and catch him. Then, like I said with Ray, he's naughty. So this one is a very mischievous youngster. Even though he had a couple of superworms this morning for breakfast, he's still a Looney Tune. Gold love ridgetails. Anyway, his house is 127 enclosure. In his enclosure, I've got a fake rock stack in there for him that he actually uses a lot. Most of the time, he just sits on top of it. Doesn't really go in there and wedge himself. He just uses it as a basking zone. There's also these branches in here that he'll use to climb up. Bit of exercise for him. Sands his substrate, a couple of fake plants. He's got his heat and UV. Sometimes he does jump up and get onto his light bar, so he's a naughty little lizard doing that. He's got his water bowl, and he's got another hide there, which is filled with wet sand, so he can burrow into that and get a bit of humidity, which helps to shed his skin. So he actually sleeps in that hide, funny enough, so why not? Hey, you're funny. Look at you. You're hopeless. Above him, in this 2-foot enclosure, we've got Caesar, who is a male blood spider python. He's not doing too bad. He's off food at the moment, but hopefully he'll start eating again soon. Usually he's a very cranky snake, so I'm kind of risking getting bitten here. Hey bud, how you doing? There he is in all his glory. He's probably thinking, leave me alone. Just want to sleep. Okay, buddy, I'll let you sleep. But yeah, he's doing pretty good. In his enclosure, guys, we've got 3 hides in here. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Got his backing, light strip, now like I say, he shares with everyone else. Water bowl, fake plants, branches as well, and substrate. And a heap pad that sits under the enclosure on this side here. Close this back up. And onto the last 2 animals of the reptile room. So up here in this pair of 70 centimeter enclosures, we've got Willow and Diablo, who are my brown tree snakes. Ever since I got Willow, she's only eaten from me once. But hopefully tomorrow when I feed them, because I do often like to film the reptile videos before feeding the snakes. Once I get bitten on the day, I'll go to feed them. Here she is, she's doing alright. She suffered a bit of an injury from a stuck shed. Long story short, there was a stuck shed on top of her top scale plate. Since that kind of hardened and cut the circulation, that came off. So you can kind of see that injury there. So I am applying antibiotics on top of that wound. For the time being, she's doing fine. I think she's going into another shed. So over due time, that will come back hopefully, and hopefully she'll start eating again quite soon, just to get a bit more weight and energy into her. She's a very feisty little snake, so when I do get her out, she often goes for my face, which is fine. We need to build that trust. But yeah, she's housed at 77 enclosure. In both enclosures, I should mention, we've got backings, 3 places to hide for them, fake plants, branches, heat pads, water bowls, and a substrate, and the light strip. So pretty much identical to one another. It's just a little different style to each enclosure. Now I'll grab my little light so we can pop in and say hello to Diablo. Diablo will be the last animal of the Reptile guys. He's my first brown tree snake, and since I've had him for a while, we have developed a quite a good bond. There he is. Let's see if we can get the light. You probably just see his little head poking over his body down the left-hand side. There we go. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Just shed his skin a couple of days ago, so he's looking immaculate. But he's probably hating the bright light at the moment. Diablo's doing well, smashing food, being a lovable little brown tree snake. So, can't complain. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. Take care for now.